roll call. State your name from my left to my right for the record, please.
Michelle Sumerian,
Linda Novak.
Mark Ziso.
Randy Brickman.
John Simon.
Brian Rockoff.
Seeing as we're called, have a quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. Adoption of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Agenda's adopted. New business. Bill, would you introduce the first case to us?
Yeah, did you want to do your prep speech, Randy?
Yeah, I can. This is a quasi judicial body. The intent is to look at the applicant and look at, not at the applicant, but look at the question before us. And we'll make decisions based upon finding of facts that are relevant to the case. We have several steps to it. First is the introduction of the case by the building official as to what he objected to the request and why it's in violation of our ordinances. The second point will be for the applicant to state his case and why he wants, or she wants, what is requested. And then after that, we'll have open discussion with the public where they can make their comments. We will submit written comments that we've already received prior to this meeting from anyone in the village. And then after that, we'll have a discussion among the board in which we can have discussion. We will ask questions of the applicant and the building official, and we'll work at obtaining a listing of findings of facts on which we'll base our decision. Once we agree on those findings of facts, we'll have a vote and make a decision. That decision is binding, with one exception. If the applicant does not agree with our decision, they have 30 days to appeal to circuit court. If they do not appeal to circuit court, or they do not find in their favor, our ruling stands. I think that explains.
That's it. Very good, thank you. So, moving on to new business, zoning board of appeals case 25-005. Property is located at 30158 Rosemount Court. The zoning is RL. On the letter, or on the agenda, as you have in front of you, I had listed the ordinance prior to listing the actual ordinances that the applicant is requesting a variance for, but he's asking for one variance first and then the second one second. I think, Randy, it would behoove us for you to handle them separately.
Okay.
Because if the first violation is not granted, then it makes the second one moot.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
So the first would be under section 1268.13, parent B. An accessory building shall be in the rear yard except when structurally attached to the main building. The above shed is in the side yard, therefore in violation of the above ordinance. The applicant is requesting a variance to locate the shed in the north side yard. So to start with, the shed is not allowed to be in that side yard to start with, so no matter where it's at within the property line, if you don't grant him the variance for that, the distance to the property line is irrelevant. The second part of that would be is if, in fact, you do approve having or allowing the shed to be in the side yard. It would be section 1268.13. In no instance shall a detached accessory building be nearer than 10 feet excuse me, to any adjoining lot or nearer than 10 feet to the principal building. The issue is not the principal building, but the issue is this shed is located 6 feet from the north side lot line, therefore in violation of the ordinance by 4 feet. The applicant would then be requesting a variance of 4 feet to allow the shed to be within 6 feet of that side yard. So that would be item number 2, if in fact one does get approved.
Thank you.
Okay? You have this.
You want that?
I think the sheriff may have submitted some stuff too. I don't know if you've been to the site. I presume that you have.
Yes.
The shed is existing. This is Rosemount Court. The driveway comes up to the top of the hill where the house is located, and the shed is over here in the side yard. So that's what I'm referring to. Definition of the ordinance is a rear yard is from the back of the house to the rear property line. So I take a line similar to that across the back. That's the rear yard, that's where it's allowed to be. This is a side yard, this is a side yard, and then this is the front, just to help you understand how it's laid out that way, or how the ordinance defines it.
Anything else, Bill?
No, that's all I have, thank you.
Is the applicant here? Could you state your name and address to the record, please?
Bashir Sham, 30158 Rosemont Court. So, the only location that we could place the shed was in that location without having to resort to grading or to tree removals. So, this is the only area in my lot that I can put it without having to remove trees or regrade. It's a hilly area. If you've been to the site or if you look at the site plan, you can see it's the elevations on the lot. So if I were to put the shed anywhere but where it is today, I'm gonna have to regrade. And then I'm going to have to cut some trees as well in the area where it has the minimum optional regrading. In that area, it's flat. I do not need to regrade. I did not need to cut any trees, and that's why we put it over there. So relocating anywhere else is just, it's gonna require changing waterways, it's gonna require regrading, and it's gonna require as well removing trees. So this is for the first point. For the second point, about the distance from the lot line, if I'm allowed to speak to that, we're only violating in one corner. The 6 feet is only one corner. The other 4 corners are within the limits. And according to Southfield Township ordinance for distances for shed, ordinance 1268.13, section D, the minimum point is 5 feet.
This is Southfield Township.
Right.
Franklin Village.
Correct. And this is why, one of the reasons why was the distance, when we looked at it, the other reason as well, when we placed the shed, there was no boundary survey yet. We used the site plan as a reference, and it is 12 feet from where the lines were on the site plan. So later on, there was a boundary survey that was established after the shed was placed, and then the measurement happened. So prior to that, we did not. So the reason I referenced the Southfield Township, because we are in the township, I know we're in Franklin, we have different ordinances, but just point of reference. The other point as well is when we put the shed there was no boundary survey. We used the site plan, and we're actually surprised to see the difference between the boundary survey and the site plan, when it comes to lot lines. We thought it would be like within 6 inches, and it was not. So this is the other reason.
When did you apply for the permit on the building?
For the shed,
Yes.
it's my understanding the sheds under 100 square feet do not need a permit.
Sheds under 200 square feet do not require a building permit to be issued. However, they do have to meet the zoning requirements.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Is there any code for like rat walls or anything supposed to be done under this building?
Frost-protected footings are only required on accessory buildings that are in excess of 400 square feet.
And it's on a cement pad, right?
I don't know what it's on.
Yeah, it's on cement.
That's, from my perspective, it didn't require a building permit.
Right, yeah.
I don't have
Well,
any
just going and looking at the site. it is
direction
on a
as to
cement
what
pad.
it should be set on. So,
And also, there's a lot of sheds in the neighborhood. Also, if you look at them, and if I were refer to ordinances, they're not necessarily compliant with the ordinances, just because the nature of the hilly nature of our neighborhood, which, I understand, now I understand why these sheds were placed the way it is. Now that I think about it, when I walk around, I'm like, well, there's a lot of sheds don't meet the requirements. But then I look at it, I'm like, yes, I understand this because people probably avoid regrading or cut trees as well. So this is another point.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Your application references many times a corner lot.
Yes, yes. So it's a cul-de-sac, but if you zoom out, you're actually backing up to Northwestern Highway, and then you have Inkster. So the lot backs up to Northwestern and to Inkster.
Where's Inkster on the map?
Would that be the north side? Right here. So in this area right here is Inkster.
That'd be west,
West?
north is that way.
Yeah.
Can we, I'm confounded a little bit because I was looking to try and figure out exactly where where the corners are. Because the corners have different regulations, different ways to determine.
That particular property, referencing the denial that was submitted in the request for the variance, has really no relevancy to where the back of that property backs up to. The issue is, can it be in a side yard, and can it be less than 10 feet from the property line, is the two issues we're here for.
I don't believe it.
The back of the property may back up to Inkster, and then the other part of the property may back up to Northwestern, which I don't believe it does.
I don't believe it does
because,
either.
I
know
know
that.
properties that
There's
do
two
back up.
properties.
Huh?
There's two properties, correct? You have
Correct.
two properties.
Correct.
That are adjacent to
Yeah.
each other, and one of them backs to Inkster.
So whatever other piece of property he owns
Is it, yeah.
is a separate piece of property and has nothing to do with this piece until they're combined as one.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
So-
was-
Yeah, I mean, that's why I refer to it, just because I was trying to give try as much as accurate explanation of where the lot is.
No,
Yeah.
I understand, that, but
Yes.
the code has a very specific definition of corner.
Okay.
And it gives you some latitude in things, but I don't think this qualifies as a corner.
No,
Well,
it's not a corner lot.
no, it's a pie-shaped lot, there's a home on both sides.
Right.
But
That's-
here's my bigger question,
Yes, ma'am.
which is, one of your reasons for hardship is that it would, because of trees and grading,
Uh-huh.
and we have an aerial photo in front of us
Yeah.
that shows a flat mowed area.
Okay,
That's
so-
what I observed when I went to see the site, so I'm not sure where the
So
grading would come in.
you're more than welcome to come to the property, but if you look at it, it's actually sloped. The whole property is sloped, so it will require regrading, especially in the backyard. The area with the most minimal requirement for regrading, that's where I have my well, and this is where the power lines go. If I may approach over here.
Yeah, please.
There is hills over here.
Here's where it is.
And you can see it's all the way down, right? From here to here, all over here, there's a hill. From here, it's all I wanna say, I don't know, 12 to 20 degrees, depending on when you're looking. You have a well in this area, the power lines coming through. This is, the shed is in this area right here, under a pine
trees.
tree where there is nothing, because nothing grows under a pine tree.
So, we don't have a grading map in our package, do we?
The great, there,
Is it in our package?
this diagram shows grade lines on.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
Can we go back to this picture?
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see what the amount of grade, okay, thank you. Okay, can't read it.
All these lines here are the proposed change of grade lines from the original plan that was brought in. But see these dotted lines? The dotted lines are the original grade of the site. When this property was developed, the only grade line that was changed was along this area. This area, these grade lines stayed what was there all along. Now, everywhere you get a line is a change in the grade of a certain amount. I don't know that I can read these numbers right offhand. My eyesight is not very good, that's why I wear glasses. But typically, they're either 2 foot, 1 foot, or 2 foot intervals. So from here to here would be a 2 foot rise in elevation. And from here to here would be 2 foot. Just like, see these gray lines here, when you get near the edge of the property onto the neighbor, it drops off fast.
Well, what's the grade lines now where the structure is
Where the
existing
building
currently?
is right here,
Okay,
and it's pretty flat around this area.
okay. So is that area considered the back, even though it's along the side, if
This
it's
would be the line.
to the left of,
That way is back.
Okay, so, but that would be considered a side yard or a backyard? If you were to move your hand 6 inches to the left,
This area?
towards me, come towards me,
Okay.
It's
And-
backyard.
that's backyard. So right there where it also is
My plan
flat,
is backyard.
And that's flat there?
that's flat?
No, it is sloping, but it's a very minimal slope.
Okay.
I
So
you're saying it's 2 feet from one dotted line to the
This is
next?
50 foot. It only raises 2 feet in the same
Okay,
50 feet.
so that particular area would be considered backyard, is what I'm
Yes.
getting at.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
If this shed moved back that distance, it would be in the rear yard, we wouldn't even be here.
Okay,
And is there enough flat land right at the break where he could put it there without much?
That's not my decision to make, but I truly believe that's possible.
And so I will still have to regrade there, the regrade will be minimal?
And then here's your trees that are in the area. Trees are all these markings here.
Yeah, but there
So
will be no
those
tree.
are the trees. If this shed was moved from here to here or here,
No
it'd
trees?
probably be down in the backyard.
Other than grading it, isn't it possible, I mean, I've got one of those big sheds like yours in my backyard, but rather than having it right on the ground, it's on a platform that's built, into the hillside kind of, so it's flat and on a small grade. So and just
The
other
owner
than
would
grading.
Tell you what it's setting on, but because of its size, it's
Yeah.
not required to have a frost protected footing. So
Understand.
It's not required to have
That's what I thought.
post, it's not required to have concrete piers. It can be set on 4x4s.
Yeah.
So that's what the code says it can be.
And to put it in this area, I will have to move trees in there, and I will still have to do grading.
What, yeah.
That's not what Bill said.
That's the tree ordinance. I mean, those are those dots are trees.
How old was this survey? Like, do these pictures match what we see on the survey in terms of where the trees are? I know it's.
Well, yes, they will, it matches, the trees are accurate on the site plan, to answer your question. It's about, everything on there is matching the site plan. That's what the trees are.
If you look at this picture of the house,
Oh,
and right in here, there's no trees. Behind the
sorry.
house.
Wait,
There's a house, and no
Yeah.
trees in behind it.
And
I
that
mean, I-
is not, and
Yeah.
that grade is,
so this is all backyard here.
There's a house. That's the shed right here. There's plenty.
Yeah.
That shed is over here, and you can see this area here.
And no trees.
I don't see a lot of trees there myself.
No.
Yeah, but this area is, there is a slope there. You'll have to regrade in this area. So I have my well over here.
How big is the shed?
80 square feet. Okay,
By 10.
correct, right?
Okay.
But the problem is, I will still have to regrade in this area.
There is no flat land in Franklin to speak of. That's a fact of life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why
right.
people like it here.
Yeah.
This
It's,
is not Troy.
right, right. You know, if it was flat, or, we would have put it in the backyard, obviously.
I'm looking in one of the letters that was submitted, I have a photograph, just so everyone knows which one I'm looking at.
Yes.
Okay. Of a patio with a table in it. I don't know if you, this picture. Is that an accurate, that one there, it's there for you.
Yeah?
Is that an accurate representation of your yard today?
Uh,
I mean,
yes.
the table, yeah.
Right, the table, yes, the way it is. But, what's the point of the question?
I see lots of flat area.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
this.
I understand.
Mhm. Yeah, I would invite you to come out to the property, take a look, you will see it. It requires regrading. It's not flat. These hills look a lot high, when you're there, because this is taken from the steps up, but if you're standing there, you will actually see the elevation.
but for 80 square feet, that looks pretty, if you go straight back between the double tree and the right.
Splitting hairs.
All these here are berms, are hills up.
up there, but closer in.
Right, and then they start sloping down, right? You get to here, it's still, everything is still on a slope, all the
But-
way through here, all the way down, it slopes down, the entire property slopes down all the way to the street from there.
But to carve out an 8 by 10 space that you're grading for doesn't, I mean, even if you were to tuck it along the tree line there, maybe in an area that was not as steep of a slope, doesn't seem like
Your question?
that big of a
So,
deal.
again, it will, I'm not saying it cannot be done without regrading. You'll have to regrade, and this is what we're trying to avoid, regrading or cutting any trees. That was a flat piece of land, you know, because my question is always going to be, all right, we have the ordinance, what's the intent of the ordinance, right? What's the intent behind the shed ordinance? That's, like, this is one of the questions, right? Because because this doesn't impact the environment, it was put in there with the least minimum impact to anything around. We did not want to cut any trees. We did not want to even move anything, any greenery of some sort. We did not want to grade. So we kept anything that's regarding to the environment, we kept it to minimal impact. So, and like, for example, sometimes you have ordinances that protects the environment, protects the trees, right? So, our variance is focused also on that. If we look at the intention behind the shed ordinance, there is no impact on the environment at all, right? Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
President. Are there any questions from the board at this time? Now I'd like to open this for public discussion. Does anyone would like to come up and please state your name and address for the record and state your comments? Before you speak, I'd like to state something very clearly that, regardless of how this board decides and what goes on, when this meeting is over, we go back to our homes, we're still neighbors. So I encourage everything to be on a friendly, polite basis, whether you're for it or against it. I just like to be on a proper etiquette, polite basis. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Make your presentation.
Mark Schaller. I live in the house next door, 30175 Rosemont. I'm here in opposition of the ordinance. The shed placement, in my opinion, yes.
You said you're here in opposition to the ordinance.
Opposition to the deviation of the ordinance, my mistake.
The variance.
Yes, the variance, yes.
Thank you.
So, couple just basic things. I believe the ordinance is there to protect the village as well as all of the residents in the village. And in this particular case, placing the shed on the side yard, I feel has a negative impact on our family's property based on its location. It's very visible from our front yard, our driveway, from the street. In addition, it is very close to the property line. And that property line was staked before the construction actually took place of the shed. I believe the pad may have been there, but there's a photo in the letter I submitted that clearly shows the stakes from the survey that was done with no shed in it. So there was clear foresight as to where the property line was before the shed was actually put in place. So it does encroach on the line. And then in regards to its placement, I do believe there's plenty of space in the backyard. I think the ordinance was written very clearly and very simply, where 10 feet from the main structure and 10 feet from the property lines are essentially the only regulations. And looking at the backyard, there's plenty of spaces, in my opinion, that you could place that. Immediately right off the patio could be a place. May not be the most ideal place, but I don't feel like placing the shed to negatively impact the neighbors is really the intent of the variance. It's really meant to protect everybody in the village. And so I guess I would request that the board consider all the facts of the case and deny the request to grant a variance in this particular case.
Mr. Chair, Mark has submitted this.
Yes, Mark.
So,
Thank you.
just so you understand how this goes together. He submitted a written document.
Yep. And pictures.
Couple of things. Can we go back to the previous picture? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm still on public discussion, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in the, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Nasser Shama. I'm an architect. I have been in the architecture and construction industry for 18 years. I have built so many houses. I just want to touch on a few additional points that haven't been discussed yet. So we did talk about the different challenges of the site. We talked about the grading, the trees, the well, and the positioning of the shed. I would like to highlight what the purpose of the shed is. Like why people place sheds in certain locations, not other ones. So accessibility is very important. You know, when we place a shed on a site, it needs to be accessible to certain points. So sometimes having it in the side yard might make sense, like closer to the garage or where the concrete pads exist. For example, if you're using snow removal equipment and so on, and you want to store these in the shed, or during winter times you want to access these, you know, accessibility is important. So just want to, you know, direct the discussion also towards another point, which is what's the purpose of the shed, right? Is it just something we want to get out of set, or is it something functional that the residents will benefit from when storing stuff and using equipment, right? And the other point, we talked about the backyard. I have been there many times. I actually lived at this property for a certain period of time. Now I live in Bloomfield Hills. Yes, the site might look flat, but it's actually sloped. And closer to the trees in the back, there are some hills. So as it was indicated, there's a change in elevation. But yeah, the site overall is sloped. It doesn't have a lot of flat areas. So yeah, just want to highlight these 2 points, is the purpose of the shed. And then the second thing, for the backyard, imagine if you have an open field where your kids play, where you can play soccer or football and so on, and you just place a shed right there, which you can see all the time, or it might impact the functionality of the backyard. I think most of us would probably elect a location that's slightly out of sight, right? Even though you have a flat area, you might not place the shed there if it would impact the overall functionality of the backyard.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
Does the board have any questions at this point? Yes, Bill?
There is
Oh, there's one other one.
one other letter that was submitted.
I think the board would take a minute to read the Nicholas and Laura Pence letter and also in Rosemont. We're taking time now because these were not submitted in our packet, but were presented to us at the meeting.
The one we're referring to at the present moment, they're not in favor, is the last sentence of the first page says, "For these reasons, we respectfully ask that the board uphold the ordinance and deny the request." You could read through the rest of it is why they requested that, but the bottom line is that this is from Nicholas and Laura Pence.
Okay, if the clerk would make sure this is entered into the record that we have received this. So we have 2 written letters from close by residents, not in favor of granting the ordinance, the variance rather. That being noted, open to discussion among the board.
Wait, I think we have another.
What?
We have another.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My name's Ryan. I'm a neighbor. Address is 30405 Roseman Drive. I just had a couple of questions. When you installed the patio, did you have that piece of property graded for the patio?
The question should be addressed
It has
to
to be
the
addressed to
chairperson.
Oh, got it. Okay, so I'll
Your last
just
name for the record?
cite my assumptions then. I would assume that when the patio was installed, there was also grading required. Would we assume that to possibly be accurate?
The patio or pad under
The patio in the backyard that was attached to the home. I would assume that when the patio was installed, there was grading work that was done to acquire that addition to the property, right? And my next question was, how large is the property? We didn't have a packet when we walked in, we got here a little bit late. It's 3 acres, is that right?
2. It's 2 acres, correct?
2 acres.
With adjacent, but we're saying that the adjacent acre is not
If
part
not
of it.
attached.
Got
So
it.
it's 2 acres.
Okay, and the
2.04.
rest of the questions were directed towards the other homeowner, so I'm okay. We'll leave it at that.
So, if I may answer this question, this was graded when was at the time of construction, that already as Bill mentioned, was already,
Is he in favor?
I don't know, we need to ask that
It's
question.
not relevant.
was
Huh?
already because of.
The question's not relevant,
Yeah.
from my standpoint.
Oh, he lives down the street, that's why I was wondering.
No, as far as the grading.
Hmm?
As far as the patio grading, that's.
Okay.
Right.
Can I ask the appellant a question again?
What?
Can I ask the appellant another question or not?
Sure, you may.
I have a question. If this was put in the backyard, is it also just because of the grading, or you just don't want to see the building, where you could plant something around it to hide it?
A grading, like my brother was mentioning, it's all mainly grading, because we did not want to regrade anywhere, right? This was already graded from the time when we started the construction. If you see, the slab was already there even before the survey. The slab is right there. It's already there. Okay.
Is that the
Even
property
so-
line survey, or was that the?
So there was a statement that, the shed wasn't there before the survey, but the slab was. Okay? So the slab was there way before the survey. Almost
So,
2 years before the survey.
but did you then just assume that that was placed within the ordinance, or did you further investigate before putting the shed up to make
So,
sure that you were within?
no, we thought we were within the ordinance. So what we did, we just looked at it and all right, we're far from the property line. So we didn't think this was going to be a problem.
So the slab was already existing?
Yes,
Wow.
Was there an existing building on that at one time?
no,
But if there was only a 2-foot change in what you saw,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't it be, I mean, and that's a very small structure.
Yeah.
It doesn't cover very many square feet.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be very easy just to not take 12 inches or whatever, remove 12 inches and have it be flat?
So here's my understanding and our thought process, that the county frowned upon regrading and cutting trees. Like, they're frowned upon, they're against it. It's my understanding that the county really against that. And because we're like, we don't want to change the environment, we don't want to have any impact in any way, sort of form. The other thing as well, if visibility is a problem, because from the street, depending on where you look from it, you can't see it from the street. We're always happy to just like cover it, cover it completely, make it invisible. We can put arborvitaes, we can put trees. Again, there's all these arborvitaes in the backyard of the neighbor. There are trees over there, so they can't see it. The letter where the neighbors live, you cannot see it from there, you cannot see it from their property. But if visibility is an issue and the neighbors are not happy about it because they see it from a certain angle, which I struggle to see from where, more than happy to add like arborvitaes all around, make it not visible at all. And we can do that very soon.
But you're talking an 80 square foot cut into a hill, and you would not be removing any trees.
I will have to regrade, correct? Well, I'll have to regrade though.
Yeah, but you'd only be taking an 80-foot cut, 80 square foot
Yes.
out of a side of a hill, which in that area does not look like it would be more than maybe 10 to 12 inches of soil. And
Yeah, you're not going very deep, right?
You actually are. You have, if, you'll have, to place a shed, to place the shed or to regrade an area, you'll have to regrade the whole surrounding area because you're gonna impact the water flow, the waterway.
So how wide of an
I don't
area
believe
is
that
that?
to be true.
Yeah, what,
And not, no offense to what you're saying, but the information you submitted and what we have on record isn't justifying what you're saying, and if you give me a minute, I'll show you why. How's that?
Thank you.
Can you put that back up? Yeah. This is where the shed is. When it's done moving around, it's up here now. Okay. This is where the shed is. As I had mentioned earlier, every one of these dashed lines is a change in grade. And if you follow these lines around, this line comes to here, and this line comes around to here, and to move this in the backyard, it's only gonna go from there to there within this same area. So the maximum, the actual maximum he would have to grade is 2 feet. But I doubt that even,
Because it's
because
not that long.
typically between these lines is a 2-foot rise in elevation. So half the distance here, it would be 1 foot to get it back to here, to move it from there to there. And that's the way the grade lines are shown from the original grading plan. So,
Thank you,
we're
Rick.
talking, you would have to regrade this and maybe slope it away from the building a little bit.
Thank you, Bill.
Sorry, I have a question. Just looking at the aerial images that we saw earlier, this area isn't clear, right? It's full of trees right now.
Yeah, you're
I don't
above the
see
area
that
you're talking
because the
about.
trees are on the plan. Look at all those dots, those are all marked trees. He could move it over to that area and be away from the tree.
Yeah, I think this area here is pretty dense
But he's
He's
not-
got to be 10 feet away to start with, but
with vegetation, so yeah, you're right. It can be placed here, it needs to be
10 feet away
probably somewhere.
from that dark line.
The dash line is the setback, right?
The hash line is a setback for a main structure, not a accessory. He could put it in that area right in there,
Oh, trees.
be 10 foot away, and my guess is the most he would have to grade is a foot.
Thank you.
And actually, he cut in the hill 6 inches and took that 6 and put it over here and added to 6. Now he's got a flat spot,
And it's basically a 10 by 10.
8 by 10.
Well, I'm just saying a little overhang.
Well, okay, 10 by 10, give it some grade slope away, yes.
Any other questions from the board?
Can I add one more thing?
Any other questions among the board? Are you ready to move on to
Yeah.
finding of facts?
Mhm.
Who wants to say something about
Okay. Briefly.
I want to show, read one of those pictures. Just to show. An example, right? I spoke earlier, there are, in my neighborhood, many of the sheds are, for example, here, if you look, this is the adjacent property, 30175, right? But
We're looking, excuse me, we're looking at your shed and your property.
Correct,
But-
correct.
but please let me finish.
please,
Some sheds and some buildings in this village pre-exist the current ordinance. Therefore, they are grandfathered in. That's why I cannot look at other examples without knowing when they were done and if there was any variance granted to them. There are a lot of buildings and a lot of sheds in this village that predate the ordinance.
I'm with you.
And they predate Father Time in some cases, but they are
I'm not
there.
speaking against it. I'm actually using it as an example of like the reason that it's there is because if they were to try and move it elsewhere, they'll have to regrade or cut trees. So it's a similar situation. So,
A question.
yes.
Why do you think your neighbor is opposed to where it is if it's not unsightly?
My neighbor and I, we did have some issues in regards to something else, some property line dispute, which triggered my neighbor to place a complaint on this. Has nothing to do with, the slab was there for many years. My neighbor knew that there was a shed that was gonna go there many times, right?
He
So-
says that he can, from his viewpoint,
Mhm.
his
And-
property, that
yeah.
he can see the shed.
And more than happy to put a hedge of arborvitaes around, he will not be able to see it. I'll make sure that the whole thing is not visible from where he is. So that can be easily done. If visibility is an issue, I'm more than happy to address that situation
But
right
you're
away.
already beyond, you're already 6 inches closer to his property than you're supposed to be if you were to put plantings that would take you, that would block the view from him, it would take you even closer to his.
It can be like right within a foot, and I believe you're allowed to plant up to 3 feet, right, Bill? So, like if we were to, like, for example, cover around the shed with hedges of arborvitaes. I think for the ordinance for planting things, you can plant things within 3 feet from a property line.
There is no ordinance
Okay,
relevant to
all right.
residential properties and vegetation.
All right, so that won't violate any ordinance, and I believe that will resolve the visibility issue. If they're, happy.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me time.
At this point, I'd like to ask for finding of facts or any discussion among the board of what you'd like to talk about regarding this property and this request for variance. There being none, I'd like to follow Bill's suggestion of looking at taking the request in two parts. First being the side yard location, because if we grant a variance there, if we don't grant a variance there, there's no point in looking at the property line. Okay? So I'd like to address the finding of facts, first of all, concerning the side yard. Some of the facts I've listed is that it's a 2.7 acres parcel zoned in RL. The building is 80 square feet, 8 by 10. It is currently in the side yard. There is over 1/4 of the property available in the backyard of the whole site. I didn't figure it out exactly, but I know it's at least 1/4 of the total parcel is in the backyard. And that another finding of fact is there are areas in the backyard that would be available for this type of structure.
I think another finding of fact is that moving it would not necessarily involve grading if a platform was constructed instead to accommodate the variance in height.
Well, let me bring up this point. When we talk about variances and hardships, I don't see a hardship on this one whatsoever. And monetary things are not considered a hardship for purposes of granting or not granting a variance. It's a simple fact that we don't not have a great deal of level land in this village, and that's what a lot of people like. And we have ordinance to protect what we have, and not to have things in, the ordinance says not in the side yard. And there is plenty of availability in the backyard to accommodate that. So, any other finding of facts we can come up with and help us make a decision?
Do we need a finding of fact that the building is in the side yard?
That's a finding of fact.
He already stated that.
I've already stated that.
How about do we have 2 letters of opposition?
Yes, that's correct. Do you feel we have enough information for the finding of facts in which to make a decision? All in favor of these finding of facts, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Entertain a motion?
I think the proper form is, I move that we, gotta get this right, I apologize if I screwed up
No,
again.
that's all right.
Yeah, I know, that's, I'm
I'm trying to
doing the
get this
same
right.
thing in my head.
The motion is that we approve the variance as for,
Can I if a majority vote is not there, then you have to make a motion the other way, which whatever motion you make, either to approve or deny, you have to have a majority vote to make it go. So you can do it either way.
so Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
which form would you like us to follow?
Either one.
Yeah, either one.
I think, okay, if it's either one, then I move that we, a motion that we approve the the variance, the first half of the variance
For the side
for
yard.
the side yard.
Any seconds?
Second?
Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
I'm not sure what he's,
I think you need to do a roll call vote on that one,
Yeah.
or a hand,
What- what
a
are you-
hand
what are
show.
you-
So he's
So
approving
the
leaving it
motion
where it is,
Approved.
in the side
Or
yard.
approval, where it doesn't say.
This
Mr.
is
Chair.
leaving
No,
it
wait.
where it is.
Let me
Mr. Chair, it's
clarify.
appropriate for you to restate the motion
Yeah.
if there's any
Let-
question on any of the members'
Let me
minds.
clarify it. What, the motion on the floor is to approve the variance to permit the shed to be in the side yard on this parcel.
Okay.
Was that your intent?
That's the intent.
Okay, that being said, I'd like to make a roll call vote.
Gosh. I think that there's adequate space in the back and that it could be moved. So do I say, no?
If you
Yeah.
disagree with that, your vote would be a no, then yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Not yes.
I agree, there's adequate space in the back, no.
I agree, there's adequate, no.
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 No. And what's the second piece?
Motion fails.
Since your motion was to approve, that motion failed.
Now we have to do the motion.
Now you have to make a motion to deny.
Got it. So I should have done the other one for,
Yeah,
okay.
if you started with the motion, I didn't want to tell you how to do it, but I gotta
I-
tell you how it works, okay?
That's okay.
Now you need to make a motion to deny, and then that motion to pass has to have a majority approval vote.
Okay. I make a motion that we deny this variance.
I second.
Moved and second. Again, I'll do a roll call vote.
I agree. So, yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
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 That motion passes, the request has been
Request
denied,
denied.
therefore, the second request for the side yard is a moot issue.
No, the second request for the,
The second half of the,
Right.
The second half of the request
Yeah,
for the
is irrelevant.
setback to the side
Yes.
yard
it's
is
gone, yeah.
not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
May I make full comment to my request? Really good. So, just also a clarification. So what happens now, Bill, like, I have to move the shed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when can I move it? Right now, I have to get people, I have to get contract where a lot of contractors don't work past November. Can I get a relief where next spring I get to move it?
No, you'll need to move it within the next 30 days.
So,
Remove or demolish it in 30 days.
yeah, but like, if, I wanna move it, but, you know, like, if last month's meeting was on the agenda, I would have had enough time, right? I don't have enough time to go ahead, I would like to move it, and, right, and follow the but I'm
That's an
asking for
administrative
relief.
function, that's not up for this board to decide.
Right, but if the
It's
board's.
an administrative function.
Oh,
that means us at
okay,
the
oh, I'm
office.
sorry, I'm sorry, okay, good to know.
We will handle it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys, and again, I apologize for taking this time.
Next on the agenda,
that was, I want to make sure I'm bundling all the, we have lots of papers. That was 05? That was 05, correct?
that was which? 05, yes.
05. 25005.
Now we're 04.
I'm trying to make sure I got all the paper in the right place.
So the next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is the return of case number 25-004. If you recall, this was a denial and a request for a variance to allow for a spear top aluminum fence to be located in a rear yard, as well as the fence application exceeded the 48-inch height requirement. They requested the 54 inches. Therefore, the applicant requests a 6-inch height variance to allow the 54 square feet. We have tried, Evan actually tried numerous times to get a hold of Mr. Bates to get his additional information, which is where this left off the last time it was before you. And he's yet to respond to us at all, or Evan. So at this point in time, my recommendation to you is you deal with it as it is. And if he wants to pursue it at some point in time in the future, he'll have to reapply and away we go. I mean, I'm not saying you have to deny it, but I mean, he's not here to clarify what you wanted to clarify, so.
Bill, on this map here can you show us what he was asking for?
Yeah.
You know, I would like to, as chair, I'd like to go through, he paid for it. He knew 2 months ago that this was the date for this, and we had asked for other information.
Yes, and it was
So
resubmitted.
the record shows there's been nothing else provided to us for that,
Correct.
and this is the date, so my feeling is to
Yeah, right.
not leave it hanging, but to finish the project.
Yes, you need to make a decision one way or another.
Yes, sir.
This evening. I mean, this is the date and time for the meeting, it was made well aware, we tried to make contact and so on and so forth. But to clarify, this is what was submitted for this fence to be here along the rock wall and back, and then a piece up here. Randy and I talked earlier, and he asked for maybe a little clearer overhead so you could see where this is all at.
Yeah, sure.
So if you see this
Oh, okay.
area here comes down, and here's the rock wall they're talking about, which is around there, across the rock wall, and then back to this corner. The fence for the pool, this is one of the pools, but this is the outdoor pool, has a fence that goes around it to contain the pool itself. They wanted to fence in a bigger space back there. As you can see, coming up from here up to the corner of the house, and then from here over across to there's an existing fence on this property line. They wanted to hook it in over here. That's probably what was not clear with these.
It was not clear at all.
Right, absolutely.
Even I was having trouble with it until, like Randy said, we come up with a better overview of this property.
Sure.
This happens to be a 2017 picture that we've got.
Now, that white line that goes from top all the way up between there,
This,
yes,
that's the property line
Property line.
between this and this house. This is the property line, the dash line coming around like
so
this.
where is his front yard, and where is his backyard, where is his side yard?
Front, back.
So that is the backyard.
I mean, reality is the guy's got 3 front yards. But what he really has is, he has 8 front, which was able to be picked by the previous owner when you're on a corner or a lot that has more than one frontage. They're able to pick the front,
So he picked up there.
but he picked up here, so this virtually becomes his front yard. Okay, however, this can't be a backyard because it's against the street. So this, in essence, becomes a backyard, so this is the 40 feet that has to remain open. This is a side yard against the street, and this is a side yard against the street, which, for all intents and purposes, is a front yard, because a side yard adjacent to the street, according to the ordinance, has to have the same setback as a front. So, it's just one of those
So
weird
he's trying to
concepts that-
he's trying to put a fence in the side yard then?
Yeah. Well,
Side and back?
Actually, this is back over here, and then it goes into this side, and then it comes into this side, but he's still not.
Is that the side or is that the back, if that's the front?
It's the back,
Well,
From the-
I'm sorry, this is the back.
yeah.
Right, so the curb,
Well, is it,
A house,
or is that a side yard if the,
no, the property has to have a back, a side, and a front. That's what it has to have.
why can't behind the tennis court be the back? I'm just trying, because of the access is the front.
Because the distance, that will allow this house to come right over here against that property line. So the previous owner, the building official has to agree with when they pick a different front than what was a front, because the house that was here originally, the
Was on
front was
Franklin.
Franklin Road.
I know.
He wanted it changed to here, and I said, I'll change it to there, provided you dictate that this is your back, so that you get distance between you and this house.
So it's a side entry driveway.
Well, that's
It's
correct.
not a
It's
front.
front, it's a front.
No, it's a front,
He called it a front.
yeah.
So.
He requested to change
I
it.
played let's make a deal with them, I'm not gonna kid you, I mean, I was trying to protect these people from
Right.
having this humongous house on that property line, and it worked, and he agreed. This is Don Foss, he agreed
Yeah.
with that. So, that's how this property is. Now, if I ever quit or die, I'm not sure what'll happen, who will decide what happens here, but,
So
Can you
that
just-
is,
You'll be in
that
Florida,
is,
don't care.
I can't die or leave. Oh,
is that whole fence is in the backyard then?
No.
Yes.
No,
technically, this corner of it's in this yard. called
Side
the
yard.
Side yard.
But
and then at the top is side yard also, right?
this is rear.
That's rear.
Can you just walk over one more time where the existing fence is? Because I see it here. Is this a dashed line on this drawing?
Yes.
So that's
Where
an,
it says
so,
Existing fence.
yes, so
dash,
where is that? That's
right along this
there.
property line,
And then, so the proposed new fencing is,
going from
30
there to the house.
okay, so that's 58 plus 6. And then from that other corner of the house down to that, the pillars.
From this corner of
So
the
they want to
house
add
down
2
here,
gates, okay, so then around there.
Comes around this, comes over here, on top of that rock wall, and then back and hooks into the fence that surrounds the pool area.
So it's
but-
kind of a dog leg shaped.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's even
It
gonna,
kind of fences in this
Yeah,
whole area.
okay.
so that's even gonna
It's a
put
lot
that
of
fence at a higher point because it's on that rock wall.
This, yes,
it's going on top of the rock wall?
yes.
Is that like a retaining wall that then goes down on the other side?
It doesn't really retain, no.
Okay, so it's an existing stone
So it's a
wall.
landscape
and
wall.
then
It's a
okay.
landscape wall. Yeah.
Okay, so then, is the fencing supposed to match the one that's already around the pool, or the one that's on the far back of the
I went
property?
back and reread the ordinance on that because we had some debate on whether, because he wanted to match the fence that was there. And,
The ordinance has changed, you can't put spikes at the top.
Okay,
well, that's one issue.
And the height.
You can't put spikes on it, so I think he even said he would do without them, but whatever, he hasn't.
But the height limit is 48 inches.
No. So that still stands, but the 54-inch height
is, okay,
is an issue. The style of fence, we discussed, Linda, I think you brought it up, that the style may change. But as I went back and reread that ordinance, it says, a style of a fence can't change along a lot line. And if the style changes over here somewhere,
It's okay.
that's not on the lot line. This is the style that would have to remain the same as you go down property lines.
Right, that
So
impact,
I had to go back and read that and clarify that.
yeah, changing the fence on the.
So
lot
there
line
is a fence
actually-
on that lot line then?
Yeah.
it's
and
a
then where does
spike
that
fence.
end? Where, so that,
It's
Oh, we're not
just
touching
sort of
that
out
fence,
there.
though.
it just is sort of one strip
he's-
of
Yeah.
fencing.
But
along
he's
the
Kind
gonna,
of a
lot.
dog.
He's gonna tie to that, right?
It's been a while, but I think it stops at the end of this guy's tennis court. If you want to know the truth, because it does come down this side of the tennis court. This court has a, if you can see it here, this fence comes around.
Okay.
Fence is in the tennis court.
So if he ties that fence at the top to that existing fence, he's out of the that's against the ordinance, right? Because it's two
No,
different,
along a lot line, that's.
it's not on the lot line.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
not on the lot line.
okay, it's coming up to the lot line.
So
what
that
the
doesn't
ordinance
apply.
say
Okay.
on that?
basically, Bill, what you're saying is the style of fence is irrelevant in
Yes,
this discussion.
Yes.
yes.
Whether it's
We're
a
talking
pool,
about spheres and height is all we're here to do.
Right. And aesthetics are not my problem. Aesthetics are not my problem. He talked about aesthetics when he was here before.
Yep.
Okay.
And he has not come back to you with any pictures of anything?
Nothing. But, and Evans reached out to him even, it's like, not like,
Cricket, huh?
Did you speak to him?
No, it was all through emails.
I think,
Did he send you any emails? Did he respond?
No response.
No response.
No response.
Please indicate that in the record, that there's been no response. Based on where we stand right now, I'd like to proceed with finding of facts of what we know about the case. We know what the man was requesting, and state some finding of facts, and then see if there's enough to make a decision. And if the board's in favor of that, we'll go ahead and do a finding of facts. Any comments, please?
Finding of facts would be that the fence is not within the ordinance.
No, I'm saying, before we go into finding of
Okay.
facts, I want to know if the board is comfortable with,
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm totally clear on this. So if they put up the fencing in the areas that they would like, it cannot be the spear-topped fencing, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, it cannot be the spear-top fencing, and it cannot be 54 inches.
No,
That's
48.
Or 48.
48.
Is there not also an ordinance that you cannot have different types of fence adjoining in Franklin? You can't have
Only along a lot line.
only along a lot line, okay, okay.
so the difference in the aesthetics of fence to fence is not a
On
problem,
his own property, it's not an issue.
not a problem, not under consideration.
And I don't even see that would be aesthetically unpleasing, you know, to have it there.
That's,
Good luck just looking at a fence on that property, you can't see
Well,
around it anyway.
I'd like to make a point on this, though. Regardless of where the fences are on the property and how they are shielded by vegetation, trees, what have you, the fences are more of a permanent nature than any shielding of vegetation, because that can go with a deer eating it, it can go with disease taken away, and all of a sudden you've got essentially vacant land with a fence on it, and you've got it looking like a bird cage. And so you have to be careful on what you allow where, and that conforms to ordinances, because we'd be living with that, a particular fence, even though they said, we can shield it, you will never see it. But once that shrubbery's gone, you do see it.
And if we would allow it, if he went to replace it, would he be grandfathered in to put that back at 54?
No.
No,
Okay.
If he were to replace one spoke of it, maybe that broke or rotted or something, he would be allowed.
yes, he would be
But
allowed
if
to
it's more
maintain.
than 50% of
Of
what's
a
there,
section?
then he cannot.
I'm-
Is it 50%? Is that what we decided?
That's what the ordinance says on demolition of structures. And I guess you could call a fence a structure.
Well, you have a rather unique,
But I'm not going to commit to one way or another regarding that issue, and
Okay.
I think it's something the planning commission needs to reaffirm.
and Randy, isn't the aesthetic side of the equation relevant, the historic district commission's purvey?
it's not an historic
It's not
district.
historic.
Isn't that on,
No.
No.
Nope, that's out of the district. The district doesn't start till you get up past scenic.
okay,
Thank goodness.
okay, never mind.
Okay. Are you ready to proceed with finding of facts?
And we're doing this based upon the application is submitted,
Yes,
period.
that's it.
I see. So we can't say, what if he doesn't have it be 54 inches, what if?
It's a 54-inch rear top fence request.
All right.
Finding of facts. All the fencing is, all the fencing is in the, Bill, correct me, this is all considered backyard? Or side yard?
Back here.
Correct,
Side yard or backyard?
correct.
Smart ass.
It's both. Well,
Okay,
you gave me two options and I agree with both of them.
Okay.
He said it was backyard, though.
Who's on first?
What else is there?
Well,
Finding of facts that the fence is not, I'd say, speared fence and 54 inches tall, which is out of the ordinance,
right.
Yeah, non-conforming.
non-conforming to the ordinance.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, we'll have to put in, it's not in the historic district.
Sorry.
Finding of facts that the
Can we
appellant is
also-
not here.
Big one?
Can we put finding of facts, the appellant is not here?
And did not furnish us with the further information.
I think we need to put in that the applicant
Didn't show.
was informed at the August meeting of the date and time of our October meeting, and the request for additional information. And he was notified multiple times by phone, and by email, and by letter. I guess by email,
Email.
And no additional information.
and there was,
provided.
and there's been no response.
Yep.
And that the applicant is not present.
And he didn't provide additional diagrams,
Nothing.
right?
No.
We asked for clarification, additional diagrams, and that was not provided.
Right.
Anything else you feel the need? Okay,
I move. Not yet.
wait a second.
Okay.
Bill, do we need to put anything in this about the existing fence on the property, in the interior of the property, was put in place by the prior owner?
I don't think that's really relevant
Okay,
to what you're addressing. You're
Okay.
addressing what he wants to do, not necessarily what was already done.
well, see, I don't know when those spear points were put in, when the fence was ever put in. There was no
Would have been,
permit.
it would have been
And
prior
that was
to
built.
the amendment to the fence ordinance, which didn't allow that.
Oh, it was?
Had to be.
Yeah,
for those-
had to, well, the house was built from, I don't know, I researched this between the meetings, I can't remember
It
dates,
was like
but
20 years ago,
yeah.
At least.
and the fence ordinances.
Those fences were put up when the house was built, which at that time allowed the spear tops.
Okay.
And
Then
it's
it's not
since then, and I can't tell you exactly,
So the-
and
The
because
fence is legally
the
non-conforming.
footnotes in the ordinance are not keeping up with the amendment date. So, Evan, I've already discussed this fact, because it's very helpful to know when these ordinances change. But for some reason, this one didn't get put in there.
Was the height ordinance at that point too?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the 48 got reaffirmed not too long after I started here, which would have been in the early or mid-2000s. I just noticed here, this is a replacement, this particular one's a replacement in 2018, and I believe that's when they took, and there was a big deal relative to deer being impaled on these fences, and they
Yeah.
prohibited the spear tops. You're allowed round ball finials, but they gotta be at least 3 inches in diameter. So those fences that are on the property currently were here long before 2018.
So I think the
Okay.
finding of fact of the for Randy is that the existing fencing is non-conforming.
Yeah, legally non-conforming.
It said it was listed as either 2006 or 2009,
The build,
the build. Some real
I'll go with
estate
that.
sites list the year built as 2006, others like Zillow list the year built as 2009 with a major
they're probably
remodel.
both right. That house took about 2.5 years to
Yeah.
build, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it would seem like forever,
Because it was,
like building a little city.
pretty much. Well, that's the second largest house in the village. Or maybe the third. but
Dan passed it, I'm sure.
it's 20,700 square feet.
Maybe
Wow.
Dan did.
Big house.
The firehouse on Scenic is 21,700, and Kurzman's over here on, across from this one. I'm not sure what that is, but it's gotta be close.
How about Gilbert's?
Gilbert's is getting there, yeah. Well, if you count the basketball court, yes.
All right,
Okay.
Anyway,
okay, yes. So the finding of fact is the existing fencing is existing non-conformant current.
Predating the ordinance.
Predates the ordinance.
Motion,
I move that we deny the request for the variance.
based on the above finding of facts.
Yes.
A second.
Moving to second. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Put it to bed.
I have a question.
Yes.
What happens after, like, the decision that we made on the house in Roseman? Is that recorded onto the deed, or what
No.
happens?
no, it's an enforcement issue at this point in time.
So were that property to change hands, there would be no record?
Oh, yeah, the variance is your record for that property.
But
It'll
is
be
it
attached-
recorded against, would it come up in a
No,
title search?
but it will be attached to BSA and our files here, which will be accessible within anybody that wants to get it.
And the building department will look it up. You'll look it up if
Oh,
something
yeah.
comes around again. But it's not,
But the issue is, within the next 30 days, that shed's moving anyway,
You can keep those if you wish.
okay.
or he'll get violations and all that.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm-
before we do,
Yes.
I move we accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
Moved. So moved.
Second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Done.
I move we adjourn.
Any other new business or any comments?
Sorry.
Any questions on that information I submitted to you? Was it helpful if I get other stuff like that?
Yes.
Would you like to get a
Yes.
copy of it?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I have something on reoccurring business I'd like to comment on before we adjourn. We have talked at different times of having the procedural items and a way of handling that. For example, the common thing that keeps coming up is letters coming in that we received at the meeting, and that we should have something where our procedure is, written procedure, that all letters be received and be in our packet. In other words, they need to be received a week before the meeting, so we have time to read it and review it. And that the village clerk can tell someone if they submit a letter and hand it in, the day of the meeting, it may or may not get read, that they may have to come here and read it themselves. It's just in fairness to everyone. So we're talking about having someone kind of put together notes or something we can vote on and start that. Yes, Bill?
If you recall, Mr. Chair, which I know you do, we have a draft version of bylaws for the zoning board of appeals. One of the previous zoning board of appeals member was taking that on as a mission, but dropped it. Left
Yes.
it. That document is still available if you wish. I will resurrect it
Okay,
and I'll submit it to all the members here, and we'll see if we can move forward.
that'll be fine.
According to state law, each board, the planning commission, the zoning board, under the zoning enabling act and the planning act, are allowed to make their bylaws, and it's a system of how things work and that type of thing, and when things are to be submitted, those types of issues. That specific,
Guidelines in which to function.
exactly.
I like
So
that.
I will resurrect those. I thought I saw a copy of them the other day again, and
Okay,
we can move forward again with those, and hopefully we can get it passed this time.
okay.
To be honest with you, it's a copy of, or it's a real close copy of, and you may even see in certain parts, that Brandon Township may still be there, but we'll get rid of it, okay? But this is the one I did for Brandon Township. They accepted it as part of their system, so.
When we send out a notice of the meeting, of the violation, correct?
Oh, we are required by law to post in a paper of general circulation, which who gets a paper anymore, but we still deal with
Yeah.
the Oakland Press. We have to post here at the Township Hall. We usually post at the library, and we also put it on our website 15 days ahead of time, besides the fact our ordinance requires us to mail notices to every property or resident,
Right.
because we ran into some trouble with this
Then
recently,
what, 500?
within 1,000 feet of the property. So
Can
what
we
happened
say
the
in
other
that
day
letter
is
that they
notices,
have to have that, any letters, for or against it submitted within 7 days prior to the meeting?
once we get the bylaws done,
Okay.
it will give us something that we can
Okay,
point to.
so in the
And-
meantime, we can't not take those letters.
That's right.
Until we,
So at that point, if somebody came in this morning and said, I would like to submit this,
Now, the bylaws say that you need to submit.
you need this
well,
by
they can
7
bring
days,
it
but
to
if you
the
want to
meeting.
show up and
They
read
can bring
it,
it to the meeting and they can read it to you during public comments. Okay, but your opportunity to bring in a written document has to be, we said
7
like
days,
10 days, I think it was, something
Yeah,
like
It was
that.
10,
because we usually get it 7 days before,
yeah.
so.
Because
It
it's
gives them
gotta
a
get,
chance
you
to get it.
guys, you gotta be able to read it. Really what the law says is this board should get the same information, all of you at one time,
Yeah,
to be fair. So that's why when you go out to a site and you look at it, you don't have conversations with anybody. I mean, you can say, hey, this is what I'm here for, but I can't have a discussion over it, da-da-da-da-da. But that's why the law says, I mean, just so that there is no place where if somebody gets denied, like the sheriff get denied, if he went and talked to one of you individually, that's a basis for him to file an appeal, of which there'd be real trouble probably. At the worst that happened, the judge would probably remand it back to this board to review it again, but
By the way, he did call me, the sheriff. And
He was told
I did
by
not
you.
discuss the issue at stake, but I have a feeling he was being friendly.
Okay, so, that brings up another point, as long as you're all here listening. If that happens, it's your obligation to make that apparent during the time of the discussions.
But you can't talk about that.
No, it's your obligation to say, Bashir called me, and then either inform the group of what was said, or say, but we did not discuss anything relative to this case. You have to disclose that.
Full transparency.
That right there could be a basis for him to file an appeal. Even though he did it. This guy's not, he's pretty sharp. He knows what he's doing. And I caught him a couple of times during this process trying to set things up, and I cut him off at the pass. We are adjourned, right?
No, we're actually not.
Okay, thank you.
We are not.
We're not.
But you gotta be really careful how these
We are
happen.
Wait.
We're not adjourned.
You didn't adjourn?
No, we started talking about
You
the,
might wanna cut these minutes off here. You wanna adjourn?
what's it, all in favor of adjournment?
I,
Okay,
So moved.
now we're adjourned.
okay.